undeniable. Ye Jin rules as the chemistry queen. And Hyun Bin's reaction says it all. What could make one of Korea's most composed leading men break into such an unguarded reaction? From subtle glances to moments that set the internet ablaze. The truth behind their electric connection is impossible to ignore. Join Red Carpet revealed as we dive deep into the story everyone's talking about, right now. It began like any other glamorous evening in the world of Korean entertainment, flashes from cameras lighting up the red carpet. The murmur of excited fans pressed against velvet ropes. And the warm hum of celebrity chatter filling the grand hall. But as the double doors opened to welcome one of the most anticipated arrivals of the night, the atmosphere shifted in a way you could almost feel on your skin. Ye Jin stepped into the room. And for a heartbeat, even the air seemed to still. She was radiant without effort, wearing a gown that moved like liquid silver under the lights. The neckline was elegant but understated. The kind of choice that spoke more to confidence than the need to impress. Her hair fell in soft waves over her shoulders. And her smile, polished but warm, was the perfect balance between star power and approachability. The step she took toward the center of the room felt choreographed by something bigger than the event itself. As if the universe had conspired to set the stage for what was about to happen. And then, somewhere across the hall, Hyun Bin saw her. The moment was caught not just by the professional cameras, but by the watchful eyes of countless fans who had been hoping for exactly this, a genuine, unguarded reaction from the man known for his composure. At first, it was subtle, a shift in posture, a faint but unmistakable softening of his expression. Then came the moment the internet would replay in slow motion, the way his lips curved into a smile that was as much surprise as it was admiration. And the brief flicker in his eyes that betrayed something far warmer than casual recognition. For those who have followed their journey, both on and off screen, this was no ordinary exchange. Ye Jin and Hyun Bin's chemistry has long been the subject of fascination, igniting during their collaboration on Crash Landing on You and fanned into near-mythic proportions by interviews, behind-the-scenes clips, and rare public appearances together. They are, in the eyes of many, the epitome of romantic pairing, two equally talented actors whose connection feels as authentic off-camera as it does in front of it. On this night, the electricity between them was undeniable. When they finally stood near each other, drawn together not by the event's seating chart, but by something that felt almost magnetic, the room seemed to fade around them. They exchanged a few words, barely audible over the ambient noise. But the body language told its own story. Hyun Bin leaned slightly closer, his head tilted in that way people do when they are fully engaged in the presence of someone they admire. Ye Jin responded with a soft laugh. Meeting is in a look that was as much challenge as it was invitation. Social media exploded almost instantly. And accounts flooded timelines with grainy zoom-ins, loop clips, and side-by-side comparisons to their most memorable scenes together. Hashtags like Bin Jin chemistry and reaction says it all began trending within minutes, reaching millions of impressions before the night was over. It wasn't just about how they looked, it was about what they made people feel. Part of the fascination lies in the contrast between them. Hyun Bin, with his reputation for discipline and quiet strength, rarely allows his emotions to break the surface in public. Ye Jin, on the other hand, possesses a disarming openness. She connects effortlessly with those around her, whether it's through a playful remark or a thoughtful glance. When these two energies meet, something happens that feels at once intimate and expansive, like watching a private moment play out in the middle of a crowded room. Industry insiders who witnessed the exchange later described it as the highlight of the night. One producer, speaking under condition of anonymity, said, "It wasn't about grand gestures. It was the kind of moment where you could see two people genuinely happy to see each other. That's rare in this business, where so much is staged." Backstage, their interactions continued in quieter corners. Between award presentations, they crossed paths near the refreshment table, and a bystander noted how Hyun Bin instinctively reached to hold Ye Jin's elbow as they navigated the crowd. It was a simple, protective gesture, gone in a second, but it spoke volumes to those paying attention. Their chemistry isn't the kind that shouts, it's the kind that lingers, weaving its way into the subconscious. You see it in the pauses between their words, in the way they hold eye contact just a fraction longer than necessary. It's rhythm they seem to fall into without effort. They both know by heart. For fans, these fleeting interactions are more than just sweet moments, they're proof of something real. In an industry where public personas are often carefully curated, seeing two stars connect so naturally feels like a rare gift. It reaffirms the belief that some connections can't be manufactured, no matter how skilled the actors or how meticulously planned the publicity. As the night wore on, more moments to dissect. During a group photo session, Sun Ye-jin and Hyun ended up side by side. When the photographer asked everyone to shift slightly, Hyun placed a gentle hand at the small of her back to guide her. She glanced up at him, and the smile she gave in that split second was pure and unfiltered, an expression that seemed to say, "I know you." That image, frozen in a dozen different camera angles, would go on to be one of the most shared of the evening. Later, when Sun Ye-jin took the stage to present an award, Hyun was caught on camera watching intently from his seat. There was no phone in his hand, no polite glancing around the room. His focus was entirely on her. When she made a witty remark that drew laughter from the audience, his own laugh came easily, his eyes crinkling in a way that betrayed genuine amusement. It wasn't the reaction of a man playing to the cameras, it was the reaction of someone caught up in the moment, enjoying it for what it was. The media coverage the next day was relentless. Headlines screamed about their red carpet reunion and unmissable sparks. Entertainment segments replayed the key moments with slow-motion effects, dramatic music, and commentary that bordered on breathless. International outlets picked up the story, framing it as the latest chapter in a real-life romance that continues to captivate audiences around the world. Yet for all the public excitement, there remains an element of mystery. Neither Hyun nor Sun Ye-jin addressed the moment directly in post-event interviews. When asked general questions about the night, they spoke graciously about the event itself, the other attendees, and the industry, skillfully sidestepping anything that might fuel the speculation further. This restraint only added to the allure, leaving fans to fill in the blanks with their own interpretations. Those closest to them, however, are less guarded in their admiration. A fellow actor who has worked with both remarked, "They just fit. I don't know how else to explain it. When they were together, everything feels lighter, more natural. It's not something you can fake for cameras, it's who they are when they're around each other." This balance, between public fascination and private reality, is perhaps the key to why Sun Ye-jin continues to reign as the chemistry queen. She understands the power of connection, both as an actor and as a person, and she wields it not as a calculated tool but as an extension of herself. And when that connection meets someone like Hyun, mirrors it in his own understated way, the result is nothing short of magnetic. By the end of the evening, the buzz around them had reached a fever pitch. Who had initially come for the awards themselves now found their conversations drifting back to that first look, that first smile, and all the small moments in between. Sun Ye-jin made her exit. She waved warmly to the crowd, pausing briefly to exchange one last glance with Hyun across the room. A look layered with history, understanding, perhaps a promise of more moments to come. What was it about that night, that interaction, struck such a chord? Maybe it was the rarity of seeing genuine connection in a setting so often defined by performance. Maybe it was the reminder that, behind the glamour and the roles, there are real people capable of being moved by each other. Maybe it was simply the joy of watching two people who bring out the best in one another, even in the briefest of encounters. Whatever the reason, the reaction said it all. Those who witnessed it, whether in person or through the lens of 1,000 cameras, it was a moment they wouldn't soon forget. In the days after the event, images and clips of Sun Ye-jin and Hyun's interactions refused to fade from the spotlight. Social media feeds were still filled with fan edits, each one carefully pieced together to highlight glances, smiles, and subtle touches. Some paired the footage with romantic ballads, others with playful background music to match their light-hearted banter. The sheer volume of content being created was a testament to just how deeply this brief encounter had resonated with people. Entertainment programs dissected every moment frame by frame. Language experts were invited onto morning talk shows to explain the significance of leaning angles, mirrored postures, and the micro-expressions that flitted across Hyun's usually composed face. "Look here," one analyst said, pointing to still where his eyes softened at the sight of her. "That's not rehearsed. That's an instinctive reaction to someone you feel comfortable with." Fan circles, debates raged over what these moments truly meant. Were they simply two long-time colleagues enjoying each other's company? Or was there more beneath the surface? A deeper bond that had evolved over the years from professional partnership into something far more personal? While no one could answer definitively, the absence of a clear explanation only made the story more captivating. Adding to the intrigue, behind-the-scenes accounts began to emerge from those who had been working at the event. A makeup artist claimed to have seen Hyun compliment son Ye-jin's dress in passing, prompting a genuine laugh from her. A member of the production crew described how, between stage segments, the two had stood off to the side, heads bent close together in quiet conversation. Looked like they were in their own world. The crew member recalled. Whatever they were talking about. Them both smile in that way you can't fake. For son Ye-jin, this wasn't the first time she had been crowned a chemistry queen. But it was perhaps one of the most emphatic demonstrations of why the title fits her so perfectly. Throughout her career, has shared the screen with some of the biggest names in Korean cinema, consistently delivering performances where the connection between characters feels palpable. Whether it's a heart-wrenching romance or a playful romantic comedy, she has an uncanny ability to create relationships that feel real enough to step into. Hyunbin's reaction that night was a case study in how her presence works. Known for his restraint, he rarely lets his emotions spill over in public settings. In her company, those walls seem to lower effortlessly. There's a light in his eyes that suggests not just respect, but genuine enjoyment and appreciation for the person standing in front of him. Beyond her public persona, industry insiders took note of the renewed buzz surrounding them. A veteran casting director told a popular magazine, "Have this kind of organic public interest. Gift. You can't buy it. You can't manufacture it. It's the result of years of building trust and chemistry, on and off screen. If I were a producer, fighting to put them in another project together." Speculation about a reunion project quickly followed. Entertainment reporters hinted that both actors had been approached for a high-profile drama slated for late next year. While no official confirmation came from either side, rumor mill spun at full speed, with fans already imagining storylines and settings that would bring their magnetic dynamic back to the screen. Meanwhile, international media outlets also picked up the story, framing it as a cultural moment that transcended borders. In Japan, television programs replayed the footage alongside clips from Crash Landing on You, drawing parallels between their characters' fictional romance and their real-life interactions. In the Philippines, entertainment shows called them the gold standard of on-screen romance. Even Western entertainment blogs joined in, marveling at how a few simple, unguarded moments could spark such a global reaction. For Son Ye-jin and Hyunbin, navigating this attention required a delicate balance. Both are seasoned enough to know when to engage and when to step back. Neither confirmed nor denied anything, allowing the public to enjoy the narrative without locking themselves into a definition. In doing so, they protected the private aspects of their relationship, whatever its nature, while still acknowledging the magic of their public moments. Weeks later, they crossed paths again. This time at a charity event supporting children's education. It was a more subdued setting, free of the bright stage lights and choreographed schedules of an award ceremony. Yet even here, the chemistry was unmistakable. Candid photo snapped by an attendee. Hyunbin was seen holding an umbrella over Son Ye-jin as they walked between tents in a sudden drizzle. She looked up at him mid-sentence, expression animated, while he listened with that same attentive focus that fans had fallen in love with. Image went viral, of course, with captions like "Some reactions speak louder than words" and "Once a gentleman, always a gentleman." The simplicity of the moment, the lack of performance, was exactly what made it so compelling. In the months that followed, the label Chemistry Queen began appearing more frequently in profiles of Son Ye-jin. Reviews often asked her about the secret to building such authentic connections with co-stars. She would answer modestly, crediting open communication, mutual respect, and the willingness to be present in every scene. Fans suspected there was more to it, a natural charisma that couldn't be taught, a genuine warmth that invited her partners to meet her halfway. Hyunbin's name often surfaced alongside hers in these discussions, whether in official press or casual fan chatter. For many, his reaction that night had crystallized something they had always believed, that when the right people share the same space, no script or camera is needed to create magic. The year's end, entertainment publications were naming their red carpet moment as one of the top celebrity highlights of the year. It wasn't a scandal, nor was it a grand romantic declaration, It was something rarer. It was two people allowing their guard to slip just enough for the world to glimpse a connection that felt deeply human. Perhaps that's why it continues to linger in the collective memory. In a world where so much of celebrity culture is curated, controlled, and choreographed, moments like these remind audiences why they fell in love with storytelling in the first place. They remind us that the best chemistry isn't built in a script, it's born in the quiet, genuine reactions that no one can plan. When fans look back on that night, they don't just remember the gun or the smile or the flash of cameras. They remember the way Hyun Bin's eyes lit up, the way Son Ye-jin's laughter seemed to draw him closer. Unspoken conversation happening between them. It was, in every sense of the word, undeniable. As for what comes next, the future remains unwritten. But if history has taught us anything, it's that when Son Ye-jin and Hyun Bin share the same frame, whether on set, on stage, or by sheer coincidence, something special is bound to happen. The reaction, as always, will say it all. And that's where we'll leave it for now, another unforgettable chapter in the story of Son Ye-jin and Hyun Bin. Whatever the future holds, one thing is certain, when these two share the same frame, the world will be watching. Thank you for joining us today. And don't forget to subscribe, like, notification bell so you won't miss our next big reveal. Until then, see you in the next video.